Hello, everybody, and welcome to Titan Souls. I'm NegPrimer, and before we get started here, I want to give a little explanation for what we're doing here. So what is going on is I went ahead and played Titan Souls. I played this half hour, 30 minutes, and 27 seconds. I did this video separately, and then I'm going to be talking over it, so we're doing a not real, I guess, commentary. Or a not real time, rather. But we're testing this out. Largely, I want to see if this is, a little bit more interesting. Maybe I'll have a little bit more to say. And I also want to see if we will have the option of doing this on some console games as well. And that can help me bring console games to the channel without having to spend a bunch of money getting a microphone and stuff like that. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So yeah, this game seemed kind of interesting. I guess still is interesting. I'm not really sure. Those little white dots are presumably the souls of everything. And I'm not really sure what that opening sequence is supposed to be right there. But it does have a rather fascinating art style. This is pixel art, but it's very, very, very small pixels. And so I do spend a good amount of time here just trying to figure out the mechanics. There are several buttons on the controller that do the same thing. So the roll and the shooting of the arrow are both tied to about 3 different buttons each on the controller. It's actually got really nice music too, and the sound effects are pretty effective. Now, this little tutorial here, I wasn't really paying too much attention. The long short is you basically have a dash, and then if you hold A down, you can run. And I did play this, I am actually playing this on PC with a controller. And then behind each one of these doors, so you get like just deathly silent here, you have a boss. So here we have a heart. And I'm not really sure if that writing at the bottom is supposed to mean something. So also during this fight, I had, a bit of not understanding. I did actually try to take out the heart right there. But I was thinking that the goal was to get rid of all the goops. So, as you can tell, I spent a little while trying to get that out of the way before I kind of realized, and kind of partially realized, partially by accident realized that you're supposed to shoot the heart with an arrow. And then souls come out of it and you absorb them. Yeah, I don't know. Really interesting thing there. I still, at this point, I'm not really sure what to make of this game. At this point, while I'm playing it, I should specify. I don't really like the fact that happens when you roll into the stairs. You stumble. I don't know that there's any gameplay point to that. I feel like that's something. Now this... So, one of the big things with this game is you'll die quickly and you'll die often. See, and there's that stumble thing again. It kind of just... I want to move faster, and it's preventing me from moving as fast as I can. And I don't really understand the thinking there. So I go through a lot of missions with this guy, just trying to get my damn arrow back. I took too long to get my arrow out. And there, I just don't know what I was thinking. I think I was trying to move, and then I stopped halfway through, and then I decided to go through it with anyways. But yeah, I kind of just rolled into the laser that he's shooting. And yeah, this fight's kind of a pain in the ass. Because you can't get... I don't think I even did figure out what his precise pattern is, whether he prefers to go up or to the right or to the left or any of that stuff. But I kind of had, at this point, got sick of playing, of dying to that guy, and decided to go die against a different character instead. Which just kind of sits there and then suddenly bursts out of you. Went into this room by accident. Didn't mean to. So we're gonna head back over to... I also noticed the vines at this point and just decided to check out if there's anything up here. I don't really know what the... I don't know how I feel about stuff like that, about those little things. It's weird in this game. Maybe if it was a 3D game, I'd be a little bit more accepting of it, because 2D exploration is really weird. So at this point, I kind of know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's just a matter of actually getting it all lined up. And that's, of course, the first time we've seen that happen. That it jumps up in the air. And so that threw me off. I'm gonna blame that for getting me killed there. But yeah, just kind of strange. It's all boss fights. It obviously takes its name from Dark Souls, but it really doesn't bear that much of a similarity to it. You spend almost the entire game just dodging. This guy, of course, I'm trying to get him to skate over those. Right there, I actually managed to figure it out exactly. And now I have to get the timing down for his little brain thwomp, which is squishy. And I get trapped in the corner there. Like, I get stuck up against the wall, which is something that will actually happen a lot throughout this video. Or if not a lot, then at least a fair amount of time. And that seems to be kind of my experience with this game, is getting stuck against walls. And it makes you spit out your arrow to activate any of these fights, I think is probably... Oh, that actually right there, that gives me a good kind of segue for the aiming in this. Like I said, it is on a controller, and so it aims in whatever direction you're pointing. I wish that would lock. This game would have been a whole lot better if that would have locked into an 8-directional system. There we go. Yeah, if instead of being a 360 degrees without any real identifier, see, that was actually a pretty lucky shot right there. I don't know why I just rammed into that thing over and over. I think I was trying to like teabag it. But yeah, because it is the full 360 degree rotation, it's really hard to be precise. And it would feel a lot better if it was just 8 directional, up, down, left, right, and then diagonals. So you could know, like you could have a better idea of which direction you're shooting at any given time. And then you really only have to worry about your positioning. And I really wish this game had gone with that. Of course, because you have to shoot your initial shot into him. And here's me trying really hard to get out of the way. I think he has preference for moving down and then right and then up and then left, I think, is kind of the impression I got from this guy. I almost never saw him move left unless it was a last resort. And those of you that maybe are not as familiar with game design, that's something you'll see a lot of. Oh, I guess he was given preference to left there. Maybe it's down, right, left, up. Because you can see I'm trying to get out of that corner, but it's not really giving me any option of where to go. Because it just wanted to move down. Which, like I said, is just kind of something that happens in this game, it seems like. See, he's moving right even though I'm further up than I am right when it moves. Same thing there. So there's clearly some if statement stuff going on there. And that was just a mess up. I actually meant to roll up, but rolled into the wall instead. See, at this point I've really figured out how running works, and so I'm being a little bit more intelligent with the use of run. And there, I really feel, I still, even now watching this, I feel like that should have picked up the arrow. But you have to actually be, like, on top of it. It doesn't have a collider that extends beyond its pixels. So, it's, I don't know. Like I said, there's a couple little small mechanical things that if they had done some playtesting, I'm sure these issues would have been ironed out. See who's there? See, and at this point, the reason I got that is because I knew that's what I needed to have happen, is for him to shoot down and then shoot himself into the air. Because that's obviously the only break it gave me. So, alright, that was the heart, the brain, and eye. And there's 4 of these in the starting area. So let's go ahead and move on to the next area. So again, we have an eye, a heart, a brain, and this one's interesting because it's not a separate room, but this is basically, when you hit it, you can see it's missing its skull, basically. It's one of its eyes, and then there's a crack in the center of its chest. And this is just me trying to figure out the pattern of how he hits. Because you have to know if he's going to use one fist than the other, or if he's going to use the same fist twice in a row for something like this. So yeah, ultimately that was a fairly easy fight. I've played a lot of Zelda. Played a lot of Zelda over the years. And so now there's like no music, there's nothing. And then it slowly comes back in. The sound and the visuals in this are amazing, and even the mechanics are pretty well done. There's just kind of this awkward... There's a few little points that need a little extra polish that they've, for whatever reason... I'm assuming they did playtesting for this game, that they did actual playtesting, not just quality assurance. But that little, those little things, like you wish somebody had been there to tell them, use 8 directional aiming, and that they had taken that advice. And that's just, I'm taking a look around. I have no idea, I still don't, at this point, really know if there's anything to find out in the world. Because, yeah, I just want to, I mean, you see this world and you want to explore, and it seems like such a wasted effort if there's not stuff to find. See the little mural on the wall? This is just kind of... Oops, we're starting with a new area. I'm trying to take a look around, but I accidentally stepped on that. So we go down, we'll get another look at that mural on the wall, if you look at the top of the screen there. There's a person inside there with a bow and arrow to the side. There's a big eye on the top. Not really sure if that mural means anything. And this is just, you know, me, again, looking around. It is really interesting. If you pay attention, your footsteps change. The sound of your footsteps change depending on what surface you're walking on. And yeah, I could have just gone straight north, but I wanted to do a little exploring. At this point, we've seen 4 of the boss fights. 2 of them I managed to beat fairly easily. Here, I didn't... that's... I clearly didn't realize I could walk... I could go swimming before that. And I kind of walked past, but then I noticed that little tile change there. And so I go exploring, and hey, I can see myself. And then it's just a matter of winding my way down this cliff, which is kind of weird because wouldn't I just be going down towards where I came up? Because I took that big elevator. And then you can see there's 2 options here, really. There's the big cave or there's the stairs. And I chose the cave. Which takes me to a different tile set. You can see that right there is a... presumably a monster boss thing. We already fought one of the... Basically that was different parts of all of one, and that picture right there was presumably different pieces of all them. And now we're like in the underworld or something, I don't know. But I see this crystal up here and I decided to try to see if I can get it. Because again, I still don't know if there's anything to find out here. I see this, I think that looks like a Wii controller personally up there. And then another elevator, which will take me up. Which takes me to like this nighttime realm. Again, I'm going exploring to see if there's another world or anything like that. Multiple ways out of this room. I'm kind of trying to look for the least beaten path. Now, where it's actually a snow world. It's not a nighttime world at all. But we're about to get into one of the biggest reasons I wish the arrows shot directionally. And I'll mention it when we get there, but I just wanted to point that out. But you can see these fire pieces over here. And they're gonna hit that, that's a checkpoint. Because you can do that with the fire. And they're all in straight lines. Alright, so I'm like, just want to make sure that it's over there. You have that tiny little crack for me to walk through. And then this right here is exactly why I wish it was that 8-directional stuff. Because I'm not aiming straight up and down anymore, I'm aiming at almost a complete diagonal. I don't know that it is a complete diagonal through the fire, but if it was, then this wouldn't be such a pain in the ass, and I wouldn't be wasting everybody's time. Well, we finally got through. And let's check what's in here. And it sounds like another boss. Oh yeah, this guy. Not really sure what to make of this boss. And again, there's the writing down on the bottom, but no. See, the other bosses seem to represent like some piece of the monster that was in charge of the area. They were the heart, the brain, the eye, and then the full body. This thing's just a sea monster. In a frozen lake. A frozen-ish lake. And I'm thinking... At this point, I'm kind of thinking that he'll eat me if I swim in the water for too long. I still, even now, watching this, I'm not really entirely sure. I think I'm supposed to shoot his tail where it's purple. You can see it does hesitate just like very briefly when that gets there. But you have to be standing on one of these bricks of ice when that happens. And so you have to be like swimming. I think what I should have tried, I didn't ever get around to this, but what I should have tried was swimming just right off the coast. And then when it pops out of the water, swimming over to the island real quick. Because yeah, you can see I'm trying to move to the other side of these little ice blocks so I can shoot its tail. But that's not working. I still don't think that right there should have killed me. That doesn't seem right. But at that point, I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I want to view a little bit more of the worlds and give you guys a better view of what's going on. And you can see this is just. I think this is a really pretty game. It's. I don't normally go in for pixel art, but because this is actually clearly a stylistic choice, I really appreciate that. Too many games, when they use pixel art, they're doing it because they want something simple and easy to do. Because everybody can do pixel art, and well, everybody can, draw circles too. But that doesn't mean your game should be made entirely of circles. And that's what pixel art usually is. But in the case of this game, it's just really, really beautiful, and it's obvious that somebody spent a lot of time working on this. Even the colors that they chose for the palette swaps, this bluish, the two blues and the red and everything, they obviously spent a lot of time picking out the perfect colors for those. And yeah, like I said, I'm still just doing a lot of exploration. Just want to see what's out there. It's hard to kind of determine which way to go. And I came across this stairway. This is clearly a thing. So you can see the one on the bottom left is lit up. That was clearly the area that was presumably the area I've already killed the boss in. And then those other 7 were other bosses. And we're now back to where we came into the level. And so I'm like, okay, well, we found the fire to the bottom left and the ice to the top left. It's on this right-hand side. Oh, it's a bunch of trees! So we found the forest area. We found, where Saraya lives. Saraya? I will say, I don't really like how they did, and it's about to become really obvious, I don't really like how they did checkpoints in this game. This is so, like, I really wish they hadn't done this too. If you didn't catch what happened, I went to the right and then the right again and wound up back where I started. This is Lost World. The Lost Forest? Lost Woods. In Legend of Zelda. That's all that is. And I wish they, like, if they were gonna do this, I wish they had done an area different than the forest. And so basically the only way to get through here is to just try each section one by one. And so I have to spend quite a while just going back and forth doing this. And it's quite obnoxious, actually. And then, yeah, I went through and went back, and that's what you're supposed to do. Oh! And thank God it's not, like, multi-parts. I would have just given up right then and there if it had been multi-parts that you had to go in and out. So we found another boss. Which is a big, ugly plant monster that has spiky things. That shoots purple jizz out at you. And yeah, you can see it's lifting its spikes up and down and slamming them on the ground, which is kind of interesting because they're like a very meaty thunk. Sounds like meat hitting meat. Raw meat, specifically. Just like slap, slap. So yeah, I thought maybe I was supposed to shoot it in the mouth right there. At that point, I wasn't really clear what effect that gas would have on me, but it appears that everything in this game will just kill you. There's no, like, altering effects or anything. And again, running low on time at this point, so I kind of wanted to make sure I gave you guys a good overview of everything. Or if not everything, then at least as much as possible. So I decided to try to go a different way this time around. And we found another pillar, which could be a good thing. Yay! Which had 2 mushrooms outside. I probably should have tried to shoot those. We get another new boss type. Which, this one does actually, like, bring some psychedelic shit here. And then it just starts stamping on you. So if you could tell, I believe I did actually just hit it right there. And this is me just going and being like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do some straight up exploring. I did actually hit it there, but I believe I had to shoot it in the, like, mouth-eye thing. You can see that picture there has 4 different things on it. It's got a little flower, a mushroom, and then the giant flower, and then what looks like a falling star or something on it. And at this point I've kind of probably looked at the time and realized how much I've put into this already. Because I'm thinking about going and exploring and finding at least another area. But that's all I really found. And I do want to point out I didn't find any bosses when I was walking through the fire area. But there doesn't seem to be any development of skills or anything. See, that's kind of my confirmation right there of what I'm supposed to be doing. Shooting off its limbs. But, it's interesting. It's an interesting fight that it leaves. Yeah, it leaves behind its things, and you have to be really careful when you're dodging away from them, because once you start the dodge, it's hard to stop. This is me getting really close because want to cut off those, but you can see the way that one landed actually cut off my escape route. And same thing there. So I've now blocked off like half the map from me going into it. And I don't know what happens there. I feel like I hit that. Even watching it now, I feel like I hit that. But I'm not really sure why it didn't actually cut off or anything. Maybe I actually shot underneath it or something? Who knows? But yeah, so we take one last stab at this. See if we can kill this guy. I believe that's like our shortest fight yet against this guy. So at this point, I'm just like, you know what? Let's go take one last stab at this fungal guy before we go. I'm not really sure how to fight either one of these, and like I said, there doesn't seem to be any real weapon progression or anything like that. You getting the souls of these things doesn't make you live longer, it doesn't seem to give you any XP or anything like that. You can see how that guy rotates just a little bit every time. But alright, yeah, that was all we had for that episode, so I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you will comment below and let me know what you thought of this style, because I am doing a dry commentary after the fact, rather than while I'm recording, and it's my first try doing that. Again, I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but part of the reason I'm doing this is because I would like to... I'd like to consider doing some console games and stuff like this, and I also want to see if maybe this is a bit more enjoyable. I feel like I have a lot more to say after the fact rather than while it is progressing. I was a little bit worried about, not being in the moment with it as well when I do it this way. So let me know what you think. Otherwise, go check out some of my other videos. I'm doing the whole let's try thing is what I'm calling these videos, where I try out a different game. And I'm going through all my different libraries, my Steam, my GOG, my Origin, my Uplay, and playing all of those. And if this works out, if people don't hate this, then this might be an option to also bring in console games. In which case, maybe I can do like a PC game one day, a classic game another day, cycle through it that way. But let me know what you guys think. But thanks for watching, and we will catch you on another episode. Check me back next week and check out my XCOM playthroughs, which are an ongoing series I don't upload until I record them. Or as I record them, whatever. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day.